Hello, this is Ralph with RedArt Technologies. In this tutorial, we're going to cover a slightly advanced feature for node editing. We're going to utilize node editing to tweak the vector. Also, some of the images you get sent are just, they don't auto vector well, so we need to find a way around that, and we're going to go through that right now. I just picked this logo online mainly because it had this sunburst looking thing with these streaks that could be very problematic. So we'll go ahead and hit trace bitmap, and as you can see, there we go. It doesn't really disappear until we get to about there on our threshold, and as you can see, we lost most of the wolf, and it's just like, ooh boy. So we're gonna go to the point where we still have the wolf. There we go, that looks good. And we're gonna preview it, and as you can see, that was not too conducive to getting a perfect vector the first time, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and move this over. As you can see, that did not help the cause much at all. There's a lot of extra little vectors and things like that. First thing we'll do is we'll get rid of those. Let's go ahead and ungroup this. Okay, so all you have to do is drag a box over there. Just hover your finger over the delete key and get rid of them. And clean this up a little bit. Just make sure you don't delete anything you're going to need. So here, we'll start with over here first. If you press the N key, you can bring up the node mode. Press N to turn it back to normal cursor, or you can go over here to the left and use the node editing mode. Either way works. I'll go ahead and select this first vector. And as you can see, we need to get rid of this. How we're going to do that is you can hover over a node or a line and right click, and it'll display some of the options. Also, it displays the keyboard shortcut keys over here. So for delete span, we would do D or click that. And you can just hover over, like if you want to get rid of a node, just hover over it, press the D key, get rid of this line, and then instead of going through and deleting all these little lines of nodes separately, we can select that and just press the delete key and get rid of that. We'll come over here. Okay, so right here we have this curve, and we don't necessarily want to delete the whole thing. So what you can do is press the I key for insert, and then we'll press the D key to cut the other one out. And then from there we can just hit the delete key and get rid of it. So now what we need to do is join the vectors. There is an auto snap feature, so if you hover right over, and all I did was a left click and hold to move this node around, and we'll just hover over this other node and let go, and now they're joined together. Pretty simple and straightforward. We'll do the same thing here. There we go, and we fixed that one. Just press the delete key, select, or the D key, then delete. Press the left mouse button, hold, drag, and there you go. So we clean that one up. Over here, obviously, is a little more difficult, so to speak. So what we'll do is we'll focus on this O first. We'll get rid of the huge squiggly mass we have there. And that one, then the delete key, and I always use the keyboard shortcuts. They're so much easier. Just hover your finger over it and click away. So okay, now we have this O. We're going to try something. Once in a while you can get away with mirroring an image. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight, and to highlight multiple images or lines, you click the first one and then press and hold shift and click the second one. If you look at this O over here, think about if you drew a line right through the center of it and then mirrored it and flipped it over, you could potentially get the same image. So we'll go ahead and try it. If you want to copy and paste, I recommend the keyboard shortcuts. It's Control C and then Control V for copy paste. So Control C, Control V. Now we have two. Now over here on the left, under Transform Objects, is Mirror Selected Objects. So we'll click that, and then we'll press the button up here that says Stop, and then we'll close that. So now it is mirrored, and if you move it down, you notice that they pretty much, for the most part, line up. But if you look at the image, the high spot of the O is on the right, not the left. Where when we mirrored it, it's on the left and not the right. So what we'll do, we'll go back to the mirror and we'll click right. Now it does flip-flop it and throw it over there. But what we'll do is just press and hold the arrow key and get it roughly lined up. So now you can see that it looks pretty good. And what we can do is superimpose our image back over it and see if I lined it up. And I did not. So what we can do is leave that image there, select the O, slide it up to where about it should be. That looks pretty good. And then we can take our image and go ahead and put it back over here. And with a little bit of node editing, we will be able to get this lined up. So we'll go ahead and insert a node here, and then we'll delete with the D key there, grab this node, pop it over, and we can do the same thing on the other spots. Go, insert a node, delete the excess, move it over. And it is obvious that there's a little bit of a discrepancy, but as you'll see when I zoom out, nobody would notice that I had done that. And when we put the picture back over there, switch back to regular mouse pointer, oops, auto center. It is almost perfect. So I really do love being able to mirror things like that. And then for like this W, really what we have is a pattern to go ahead and like a tracing pattern almost. So what we can do is delete this, delete that. We'll go ahead and just kind of chop these up. And remember, if you mess something up, the shortcut for undo is Control and then Z. So that makes it real easy. So we'll go ahead and delete that. And we got this weird thing going on over here. So we will hit the D key. And get rid of that. Select it, press delete. Okay. So now what we'll do is just go ahead and grab this little guy right here, connect him there, grab this little guy. Now I want him to be straight. He kind of wanted to go crooked on me, so we'll just go ahead and grab this other node and bring it in there. Alright, and then here, bring him up where we want him. Alright. This guy, there we go. Okay, so now we're not gonna, I'll show you another little trick. Instead of adding another node to draw this other line, you can come over here to the left and there is a draw line or polyline. We'll go ahead and click that, and we'll click here and click there, but if you notice it still wants to keep going. At this point, just right click one time, and there we go. Okay, so now when you're editing these nodes and stuff, you see this line is selected. It's actually not connected, and it's not connected here either. So what you're going to do is whenever you do this node editing and stuff, when you're done, you're going to want to highlight the whole logo. We're not completely done, so I'll just highlight the W. You'll highlight the whole W. Under Edit Objects is a Join button. We'll go ahead and click that, And your tolerance, sometimes you do want to adjust, but those nodes are really, really close together. So I'll go ahead and use a small number like 0.1 inches. If I use like 10 inches, it might join a line from this W over to that other letter that we were messing with. So I don't recommend it, using a big number. So we go ahead and hit whoop. And as you can see, somewhere along during this, I accidentally deleted the L, the V, and the E, but it's okay. The main starburst thing was here in the W and the O, so I think you all, understand what I'm getting at here. And you can see it's not really that hard. And, just go through, do the other letters, and fix the little bit on the S here. Oh, yeah, I guess I should show you a curve. So instead of trying to clean this whole curve up, there's another cool feature. We can delete just the nodes. And what I'm going to do is focus at the start of the curve to the end of the curve. So we'll go ahead and get rid of these nodes. Okay. All right. So now what we can do is we can right click and we can change it to line or use the L key. And then we can right click and do it to arc or use the A key. Now when you do the arc, I don't know why it goes out to this way extreme, but we can bring it back in roughly where we want it. And there you go. We just fixed a curve. So pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I hope you guys learned something, and I appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Ralph out.